Today I'm talking to Carnivore Kipp. He's been on the carnivore diet for just 2 months now and has already seen massive success. And we're going to get straight into it, but just before we do, a word from today's sponsor, the subscribe button. I've got a goal to get to 50,000 subscribers by the end of April. And if you've ever enjoyed a video on my channel, I would really appreciate it if you could take the split second right now to smash the subscribe button, and let's get to that 50k goal together. Thank you so much. Now let's meet Carnivore Kipp. So I'm here with Carnivore Kipp today. Kipp, thank you very much for joining us.
Thank
And
you for having me. This is my first interview. I appreciate it.
no worries. So, can you tell us a little bit about your background and also, how you've done with carnivore so far?
Well, I'm just a regular old country boy. I'm from South Alabama, and that's in the southern part of the United States, which most people probably know that. But I'm 29 years old. I started the carnivore diet 2 months ago at almost 500 pounds. I was 486 pounds, and I grew up with uh, in a poor home, and everything was that we ate was processed junk food. And I grew up, and when I was 1 years old, my baby bottle was filled with sweet tea, and it's like one pitcher of tea has two cups of sugar in it. And so it's been my whole life. I've struggled with weight my entire life. I was 300 pounds when I was in middle school, and I've never, as an adult, been under 300 pounds again. So I'm looking forward to getting back to that.
I guess firstly, what was the catalyst then to start with carnivore?
Well, my blood pressure had been going up, and I didn't like that. And doctors, first thing they want to do is prescribe medicine. And then they were talking about my cholesterol. And I found out that I was pre diabetic. And once I found out I was pre diabetic, I was like, I need to get this under control. But I had been doing other diets. Like I had had some success with the keto diet, so I don't have anything against the keto diet. But I kept having problems wanting to cheat and or have like different keto desserts and stuff like that. And no, I didn't regular ice cream or something like that because I could only take so much Rebel ice cream off. So I decided I had, let me backtrack. I had my daughter was born a year ago, and after she was born, it really made me realize, hey, do you want to live the rest of your life weighing as much as you do? And do you want to die early whenever you could have been there for your daughter and not be able to dance with her at her wedding because you loved sugary food so much? And I decided to make a change. And January, I started, and hey, there's no going back now.
You started in like beginning of January, like January 1st or something.
It was January 2nd, technically.
Okay. And so from January 2nd to now, what are we? March, I guess March 5. So from January 2nd to March 5, how much have you lost?
51 pounds, 1 pound. And
51.
actually, then I had, yeah. And a few weeks in, I had a cheat weekend, and I felt awful. And I got to thinking very hard about my daughter. And I was like, what am I doing? Like, I don't need this. Like, I had already got over the sugar cravings. So it was a mental game. And
Mm.
then I decided, I don't need these cheat meals like that. And I haven't cheated since. And I feel amazing eating steak all day.
So I've noticed like you've got a few videos on your channel where you talk about cooking steaks and stuff like that. So how often are you eating, and like how much are you eating each day?
Right now, I've been doing 2 meals a day.
Mhm.
I've really thought about switching to one meal a day, but I haven't made that transition yet. I've been, really pondering it and trying to get different opinions from other people before I make a decision on doing that. But it's
Mm.
something that I'm thinking about.
And the 2 meals a day, is that like lunch and dinner, or how are you doing it?
Yes, sir. I'm doing lunch at like between 11:30 and 12 o'clock. And
Mm.
then around 6 o'clock in the evening, I have my supper. And after that, I don't eat, I don't snack at all. I mean, I don't feel the need to snack. And honestly, sometimes whenever I eat supper, I feel like I really don't even have to. And it's the same some days whenever I eat lunch, I feel like I really don't have to. I'm like, maybe I should eat some lunch.
How long did it take you to get to the point where you were kind of waking up and not feeling like you needed to eat straight away?
That happened pretty fast for me. Like after probably the first week, I was like, man, like I'm supposed to be like waking up starving and wanting donuts or wanting all these different breakfast foods and so on, but like I'm not. Like I perfectly fine going to work and skipping breakfast and big deal of it. Whereas before carnivore, when I woke up, I wanted my biscuits and gravy for breakfast, and I wanted my toast or my grits. A lot of people don't know what grits are, but that's a Southern thing. And so just it's just amazing how changing the types of meat literally help with those cravings. And I can skip a meal if I need to. It's no big deal.
Awesome. And so how are you going with I guess your wife's not doing this diet, is she?
That's correct. She's not.
Uh-huh.
She's curious about it, but she hasn't committed. So I can be the guinea pig. I'm perfectly fine with that. Through the research that I've done and the great channels that I've seen on YouTube, I feel pretty confident that what I'm doing is the right thing and based off the way that I feel. So I'm going to keep pressing on.
Hmm.
And if she gets curious and decides wants to join me, I'd be more than happy to have her.
So how is that going with you? I guess that means that are you eating together, and are you just having different kinds of meals, or like you prepare your meals, she prepares her meals, or how does it work?
Usually whenever I get home from work, I will because I cook in cast iron a lot also. So I'll have her thaw out like a steak or something like that. And then I get home, she'll be cooking for her and my daughter. And while
Hmm.
she's cooking, I'll just go ahead and cook a steak real quick, or I can fire up a grill and have it hot and ready to cook a steak in no time. So we get to eat together anyway.
Is this the life for you now? Like, can you see yourself in 5 years' time just on carnivore?
Absolutely. Unless something changes, I absolutely love this.
Hmm.
I've also thought about like the line diet and all that, and that may be something that I try or eventually. But so far, the carnivore diet, like I plan on keeping on doing this because it doesn't feel like a diet. Like
Hmm.
it's a lifestyle, and the more that I do it, like I thought I would get burnt out on steak and burn out on hamburger meat and stuff like that, but I mean I don't. Whenever I get home from work, I love firing up my either my smoker or my charcoal grill and cooking a ribeye, or I'll smoke some baby back ribs or whatever on the weekends, and I just love it.
Nice. So you're looking forward to that every day, or every meal. Nice.
Yes, at first I was like, man, I was worried about it because I thought I may get tired of this. And then I had that first week, the bowel movement issues the first week. But after I got through that, after I got through that first week, I mean, it hasn't given me a problem ever since.
Oh, nice. One of the things that we've just addressed is a point that opponents or people questioning the diet would say, which is, doesn't it get boring? But the other thing that people will say is, yeah, but you're going to give yourself a heart attack, or you're going to you're going to give yourself some kind of cancer or something like that. I mean, how do you feel about that kind of thing?
I'm pretty sure that I'd give myself a heart attack faster if I kept eating Little Debbie's all the time and if I kept eating cheesecake all the time. So, hey, I feel like God gave us the cow and even the pig and the other animals so that we could hunt them and so that we could survive on that. I'm actually part of a Native American tribe here in Alabama, and they survived years and years on buffalo. And like that was like their main source of food. And so I have no problem eating the buffalo. The Native Americans, they were extremely healthy people. Back then they were actually taller than they are now. They were fit and they knew how to hunt. And so I don't see why there's whole fight against meat and especially red meat. People have been living on it for years and years and years. I remember watching your video where you had did the side by side showing where you had had a stroke years ago, and then your limp had gotten better, and I could visually see it in the video. And this was before I started filming on YouTube, and I was like, that's just amazing. Like your story on that just blew my mind. It just shows that what other diet could you be doing that would give you that benefit?
Regarding your diet, you've talked about, the steak and the baby back ribs and all this kind of thing. Are you eating anything else? Like you eating eggs and stuff like that?
In the beginning, I was eating eggs, and now it's very rare. Like I may eat eggs like once every, like whenever I get breakfast, I may get some bacon and then boiled eggs. But first, I thought I was going to really, really crave eggs with my meal. But whenever I eat like steak and hamburger meat, and even not so much with chicken, but whenever I eat like that, I just don't crave the eggs. I thought that I would, but it really hasn't happened to me.
How have your friends or your colleagues reacted to this?
Uh, I'll be honest. I've had some people to be, worried that the typical answer is, well, what about your cholesterol? What about this? What about that? Well, I'm like, well, what about if I stay 500 pounds? If I stay the weight that I was, somebody's going to be toting my casket, and it's not going to be a light casket. And so I have got to get this weight off. And if this is the way that will help me do it, and from the research that I've done, that I'm going to be perfectly fine doing it, hey, I'm all for it. Let's go.
Or have you ever had people kind of saying, "Oh, just have one Twinkie. It's not going to hurt you. That's okay."
Yes, I've had people do that, even in my own family. I'm not mentioning any names, but I've had people that as it goes on, they kind of are starting to realize, like, hey, he's serious about this. And even whenever we put this in his face, he turns it down. Like yesterday, I smoked turkeys and sausage, and I made homemade mac and cheese with a white cheddar. And in the past, I would devour it. But yesterday, I looked at it and I smoked it and I cooked it, but I didn't touch it once. I didn't even take one bite of it. So I was very proud about that.
So you're 2 months in. When you had that mac and cheese in front of you, right? And it is something that you've eaten a lot in the past. Were you kind of looking at it like that looks awesome? I really would like to, but I'm not going to, or did you just kind of feel nothing?
I just looked at it like that's one of the things that has been destroying my health for years.
Mm.
Like, used to, I looked at it with cravings, but now I'm starting to just look at it like I feel like my eyes are being opened, and my eyes are opened. I'm just like, and even whenever I go into a grocery store, when I see all the candy on all the aisles and I see all the different box cereal and other things, I just know that it's just pure sugar. It's poison.
Mm.
It's poison. And I want to make this change so that my daughter, when she's older, she don't have to struggle with the things that I have.
So on that point, has it made you think about anything in relation to your daughter's diet? I mean, I know she's only one year old now, but like when she gets a little bit older and she's, more interested in the colorful packages of the cereal boxes and stuff, what is your thinking about that?
So my wife and I, we've spent a lot of time talking about that. And like I said, my wife, she's not carnivore, but she does fully support what I'm doing. It's great to have her to back me and support me. But we've talked about my daughter, and as of right now, of course, she's not carnivore, but she absolutely loves the meat that I cook.
Hmm.
So she eats plenty of we cut up small pieces of steak
Oh,
and
nice.
chicken, and she loves it when I make ribs. But we do allow her to have like raspberries and strawberries and stuff like that. I will say that she has had like every now and then, maybe twice a week, she'll have like some juice that has it's like half water and half juice, and even the juice is like the lowest percent of like actual sugar in it that you can find. But so we are really, really watching it, but she's not like full fledged carnivore. But I was gonna say that she did actually eat a little bit of that mac and cheese yesterday, though.
And I think it's pretty good 2 months in that you're able to be around that kind of food and just be able to shake your head, I think for me it's probably a good 3 months before I got to the point where I was just like I could sit and watch people eating food and not have any feeling about it.
Yeah, see, I have been cooking barbecue for years, and I've watched thousands of hours of barbecue YouTube channels. And one thing that a bad habit that I've picked up over the years in barbecue, almost everything has sugar in it, like the brown sugar in the rubs and the sugar in the sauces and stuff like that. And so I've been tweaking my barbecue game a little bit to where it's more, I call it more of a Texas style now, because out in Texas, a lot of people, they cook their barbecue with salt, pepper, and garlic. I know that some carnivores don't allow the garlic and the black pepper in their diet, but I haven't had any issues so far. But if I ever do start having issues, then I would remove that, because I mean it's not worth my health.
You can be close to 100% carnivore, but there's some things are going to slip in like that. And myself, I still drink coffee. I still drink a lot of coffee, so I can't classify myself as 100% carnivore either, but
I never had a problem with coffee. I normally only drink coffee like once or twice a week
so
anyway. So don't even drink. I need it. Do drink is water, and the only thing that I do drink is water. And then I also drink these things called bubblies. I don't know if you can see it on here, but it's called bubbly, and it's basically sparkling water.
oh, nice. Yeah. So that's apart from coffee, that's basically all I drink, sparkling water. So, Kip, for someone who's thinking about getting started with the carnivore diet, what advice could you give them to, get started as smooth as possible?
As smooth as possible. If you want it to be as smooth as possible, have your electrolytes up. So do your different electrolytes that people take or whatever. I actually didn't use electrolytes whenever I started, and I think maybe the fact that I had done keto multiple times in the past might have helped me transition over. But I'm not 100% sure on that. But so far, I mean, I just salt my meat to taste, and I've been perfectly fine. But I would say to those people, if they're thinking about starting, what do you have to lose? Just give it at least a month. Give it 1 month of your life and just see what happens. And if it doesn't work, then you can try something else. But most people, if they try it a month, they're like, "Hey, I'm staying." I don't see many people that are carnivore for a while that just decide, "Oh, I don't want to do this anymore."
That's a really good point. I haven't seen anyone doing like a confessional video on YouTube or on Twitter or something where they're saying, "Yeah, I was on carnivore, but I can't do this anymore. It's just impossible." Once you've done it for a period of time, that's it, right?
Yeah, I've totally fell in love with it. I feel like for me personally, first and foremost, I feel like God saved my soul, but carnivore is helping to save my life. Like, because it is very, very unhealthy to be almost 500 pounds. And right now, I'm still 436 pounds, I believe. Yeah, 436 pounds. But that scale is on the way down. And
Mm.
I'm just going to get healthier and healthier and healthier every day.
So 51 pounds in the first 2 months. So what's your goal for, like, let's say mid-year? What are you hoping to achieve by like June time?
That's where I struggle because I don't know what would be how fast I should lose it to be healthy while I'm losing it. Because I mean, I want to stay healthy as I'm losing it, but I mean, probably I don't know. I think I could lose another 50 pounds by then.
Not a doctor myself, but it certainly sounds reasonable that you would be able to, because it's a slightly longer period of time as well. And yeah, I mean, and that'd be crazy to think you can go 6 months in and lose 100 pounds, right? It's just awesome result. Yeah.
Well, and also I think about the fact that I had that weekend after I shortly after I started where I cheated for the 2 days that weekend, and if I had not cheated those 2 days, I would probably be down even more than 50 pounds, honestly,
Mm.
because it stalled me for like a whole week, and I couldn't hardly lose anything. But then after that next week, then it continued to go back down again. So I would have probably lost more than 50 pounds.
So back on the topic of advice. So you said someone should get started and just give it at least a month, right? So let's say they get started, they're 3 days in or they're a week in, and they're having the cravings, and the cravings are just getting stronger and stronger and stronger. Or they're living with someone who's constantly got you know candy bars or potato chips or something in their face. Like, what would you recommend to control those cravings?
Well, for me personally, I just told myself that, hey, it's just like an alcoholic or just like someone that's trying to quit smoking cigarettes. You just have to keep pressing on and push through because those cravings, they will stop. Those
Mm.
cravings and everything is coming from all the sugar that they've had for years and years and years. And if you can just like if you smoked cigarettes for years and years and years, but then you stop smoking, if you quit, you give yourself a few weeks down the road or a month down the road, you'll notice that you're not thinking about it as much as you used to, and you've created new habits because your body, I mean, you naturally create after you do something long enough, it becomes a habit.
When I think about tobacco and alcohol and sugar, I think of the three of them, sugar is almost the most insidious. Everyone frowns upon smoking. Everyone kind of frowns upon alcohol. So, like, if you're an alcoholic or you're addicted to cigarettes, like, if you say I'm giving up, people will support you. Like, okay, got it. You're giving up, blah blah blah, right? People are more likely to support you. But then when it's sugar, it's got that little, it's a little bit more insidious, because then you get people questioning why are you not eating these things anymore, and.
I've had that same feeling and felt that from people whenever I made this change and I would go over to people's house for different events or whatever, and they're like making different desserts and stuff, and they're like, "Come on, man, have this," and I'm like, "No, no, no," and I'm just like, I don't want to feel like the only way that I can fit in with everybody is if I have the cheesecake or I have the cake. Like I shouldn't feel this pressure to eat something that has been destroying my health for so long.
Yeah, that's the best way to be looking at it. with a couple of people, I kind of that I got the feeling like you've changed, man. You've changed so much. You know, we used to be able to enjoy each other's company over a dessert or over a drink or something like that, and I would think to myself, so that's all our friendship was. Our friendship was just about solely about food or solely about drink. You know?
And being from South Alabama, our families they get together all the time, and we cook like country food, like fried chicken and collard greens and mac and cheese and the baked beans and fried fish and everything that a country boy loves. And I've had to learn to, hey, I either need to eat something real quick before I go, or make sure that we're going to prepare something there that I could have as well, and
Mm.
to still be able to be social with everyone. And thankfully, after the first few weeks, people started realizing what I was doing, and that I was only eating meat and it couldn't be fried with flour and stuff. They've pretty much accepted it, and they have made sure when I'm coming over for supper to have an option for me as well. And I really appreciate my family.
Ah, that's awesome. You mentioned the kind of foods that people are eating in South Alabama earlier as well, and you mentioned grits. So, as an Australian living in Japan, I have no idea what grits are. That sounds like something that gets stuck in your teeth. So, could you tell me what grits are?
It's just a grit. I think it's made with cornmeal, or I'm not exactly sure what it's made for, but it's like really really fine, and it's way smaller than like rice and smaller than oatmeal, but it's so good. It's wonderful, but it's not good for you. But
Ah,
most people down here they put butter in it, and they put salt and black pepper in it, and a lot of people love to put cheese in it as well. And it's a southern thing because a lot of people in the northern part of the United States they don't really eat cheese grits or grits in general, but down here, everybody eats grits for breakfast.
okay. Wow, for breakfast. So,
Yes.
like it
It
would be
goes with
no.
your bacon and your eggs and stuff.
Okay. So yeah, if you're having a bacon, egg, sausage for breakfast, that kind of thing, you have a side of grits as well.
Perfect.
Okay.
I'm gonna go ahead and get that thought out of my
Sorry, no pressure, no
head.
pressure.
Yeah. I hear you.
So Kip, is there anything else that you wanted to share about your journey?
Well, I plan on because like I said, I come from the barbecue side of things. So I plan on using my YouTube channel to help people to learn that hey, you can do carnivore and still cook amazing barbecue, like without all the sugar and things of that nature. So that's kind of how it got started at my YouTube channel. But it goes back to my daughter. Like, I really want to be able to dance at her wedding and help her fix a flat tire on her car and just play with her. I noticed whenever because we have a chair in her nursery that we rock her in to go to sleep at night and then lay her in her crib. I was noticing I was having an extremely hard time getting out of the chair with my daughter to put her in her crib. And that right there as a father, when you can't do that, that breaks your heart. So I've noticed since I've lost the 50 pounds, it's gotten so much better. And that's why I decided to document this journey that way that one day she can look back and say, wow, my dad did that for me.
Oh, that's really nice. Yeah, that's really nice. So, speaking of the YouTube channel, how can people find you?
You can just search. The name is actually Carnivore Kipp Barbecue and Cast Iron. But if you just go on YouTube and search Carnivore Kipp, it'll come up, and it's Kipp with two P's. And you can find a picture of me and my wife if you search Carnivore Kipp on YouTube.
Thanks very much, Kip. And of course, I'll link to your YouTube channel in the notes below so that everyone can join. And um, I recommend that everyone check out Kipp's channel and subscribe. It's a really he's got a few videos on there already. One of the videos has gone pretty crazy, and he's picking up the subscribers. But I recommend that you subscribe, give him a hand, and also watch his journey. It's very inspiring. Let's maybe do this again around June, and let's see how you're going, and let's hope we get to that extra 50 or more by June.
Absolutely. And it'll probably be more than the 50, but I look forward to talking to you then. And thank you for having me on your channel. It means a lot. I really appreciate it.
Guys, thanks so much for watching. Please don't forget to click like and subscribe. And if you enjoy my videos and you'd like to support the channel, consider becoming a channel member. Click the join button under this video or the first link in the description. Thanks again, and I'm looking forward to seeing you in the next video.